Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Sweet and Sour Soccer. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, whenever you are watching this. And thanks for dropping by again, because we've got another weekend of football. And I tell you, I'm so excited for this season. I'm sure you guys are as well. We've got an unbelievable relegation battle. We've got an unbelievable title race. 3 or 4 teams potentially getting top 4. I think 7th. And European football is between 2 or 3 teams as well. Guys, let's waste no time. Let's dive right in. And I do apologise if you hear some raining or thunder in the background. It is piercing down here, so I do apologise. It's game week 32, of course, and we are starting with Newcastle versus Wolves. Newcastle, of course, that very uncharacteristic defeat, I would say, performance, I should actually say, by Newcastle at the hands of Spurs, unlike what we've seen of Eddie Howe's side since he's made the trip north. Of course, a big 5-1 defeat in a game that they went 1-0 up thanks to a free kick. But when you've got Harry Kane in that kind of form, scoring goals, assisting goals, his link-up play, is he the best number 9 in the world? Is he a number 9 now? Actually, probably not. I still think he's probably the best striker in the world, along with Benzema. For Wolves, 2-1 win at home against rivals Aston Villa. That's the double over them this season. Johnny Otto again with another goal. Could be up for really defender of the month, I would say, so far. He's actually played very, very well since coming back from his injury. With this one, Newcastle versus Wolves is at St James's Park. Eddie Howe's going to demand a bounce back from the 5-1 defeat against Spurs. I want to back my club because we're actually in good form. 3 wins out of 5 for Wolves. I think I'm going to go Wolves. I'm going to say 2-1. I think it'll be a close game, but I'm going to say 2-1 to Wolverhampton Wanderers. Next up is Everton versus Manchester United. Now, the last time I did this video, Everton have played twice since then. A 2-1 defeat in London to West Ham. And then what happened last night? That 3-2 defeat at the hands of Burnley at Turf Moor. They went 1-0 down, Everton, came back to 2-1 thanks to 2 penalties put away by Richarlison, and then 2 goals for Burnley. And, I mean, that defeat, I can't explain the potential that... I mean, I'm actually lost for words. I'm not even an Everton fan. Everton, it's looking likely that they may be in the Championship next year. Everton, they're building a 50,000-seat stadium. I mean, can they bounce back against United? United have only taken 7 points from their last 5 games, granted, but it is Manchester United. What helps is that they are at home. Historically, Everton tend to do pretty well against Manchester United. They don't have a better record than United in these games, but they do well compared to most other teams that are in the league. I've got to say, United, as badly as they're playing, the confidence that game last night would have taken out of Everton. I think I'm going to say 3-1. I think Everton might score because of the Goodison crowd being so good, but I'm going to say 3-1 to Manchester United. We come on to Watford versus Leeds. Now, a couple of weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, before the international break, of course, before Leeds got their back-to-back victories against Norwich and my club, Wolverhampton Wanderers, you'd have said that this was a 6-pointer. Yeah, at this point in time, Leeds are unbeaten in 3. They drew their last game. They won the 2 before, which I mentioned. So 7 points out of their last 9. Watford not doing well at all. I think it's 1 win in 5 for them. This would have been a great, great game had it have been a more level playing field. But I think I'm going to give it Leeds. Just haven't had that bounce effect with Roy Hodgson coming in. And I think I will give it Leeds. Leeds sitting on 30 points. If they win this, I think they stay up. And I think the players will know that. So I'm going to say Leeds. I think there'll be goals. I'm going to go for 3-2. An away win, 3-2 to Leeds United. Next up is Southampton versus Chelsea. For Chelsea, would you go as far as saying humiliating defeat last night against Real Madrid? Benzema, I mean, what a player he is. I touched on him a few moments ago when I spoke about Kane. But, I mean, Karim Benzema, one of the best strikers of the last decade, no doubt. Will Chelsea's focus switch to the league a little bit more? I doubt it, because it's sort of second leg. Go to the Bernabeu, you can still get a result. There's no away goal rule in the Champions League, don't forget. So Chelsea have only got to score, well, win by 2, and it goes to extra time. They haven't sewn up for third place in the league yet. They still will be looking over their shoulder to Arsenal and Spurs. But I think Southampton will do something. I really, really do. Southampton have not been in good form. They really, really haven't. Drew their last game, lost the previous 3, and won the one before that. So 4 points out of a possible 15. But I've got a funny feeling about Southampton. I think they'll get a draw. I'm going to say 2-2 between Southampton and Chelsea. Next up is Arsenal versus Brighton. Arsenal, that 3-0 defeat against Palace. You know, you think that they're just... You think fourth is theirs, you really, really do, and they just do Arsenal things yet again. For Brighton, slipping down the league. I've been saying this for a while now. No wins in their last 5 for Brighton. They did draw their last game, but they lost the 4 before that. I think Arsenal being at home will help them. It's a good thing. I think if they had been away, I might have given the result to Brighton here, or at least a draw. But I'm going to say an Arsenal win because they are at home, and I'm going to say 2-0 to Arsenal. Next up is Villa versus Spurs. We mentioned earlier, Spurs lost that last game to Wolves. Ashley Young own goal with a Johnny goal for them, and a penalty for the away side. For Spurs, they're scoring goals at the moment. They really, really are. They scored the most goals this calendar year in the Premier League. I don't see a way that Villa get anything from this game. I really don't. Listen, this is still Spurs. They are inconsistent. So I'm not saying Villa have no chance, but I just think the firepower that Spurs have will get them over the line. And I'm going to say 2-0. I'm going to go 2-0 to Spurs. I think they might keep a clean sheet, which is a bit of a rarity. Next up is Leicester versus Palace. We mentioned Palace. Of course, they've got that unbelievable result against Arsenal on Monday night. Leicester, 3 wins and a draw from your last 5 games, 10 points taken in that time. That's not a bad return at all. Leicester really have no chance of getting up. Absolutely no chance of getting European football this season, unless they win the Conference League. And listen, there is a good chance that that could happen. West Ham are still in there, of course, as we know. With this one, neither team are really playing for much in the Premier League. I think it's just more bragging rights. I'm going to go for a draw. I'm going to say 2-2 between Leicester and Crystal Palace. Next up is Norwich versus Burnley. Norwich, I'm sorry to say, even if you do win this game, which I don't think you will, you are 7 points adrift of Everton. I just don't see... You're going to have to win 6 or 7 games, and I just don't see how that happens. I really, really don't, because you've got to think Burnley, Everton, maybe even Watford are probably going to win another couple of games. So I don't see how you win 6 or 7 games before the end of the season. I think your time's up again, unfortunately. For Burnley, what a result last night. I stayed up until 3:30 in the morning to watch it. I wouldn't do that even if it was Man U versus Chelsea, but I was so excited to watch this game, and I'm glad I stayed awake because it certainly didn't disappoint. What can you say? 3 different goal scorers. I think that helps Burnley because you've got 3 players going into training tomorrow with a lot more confidence, a bit of a zip in their step. Yes, it's nice if one player would have got a hat-trick. That always looks good. But I think the fact that you had 3 different goal scorers, I think that helps you even more because that just builds confidence in more than one player. But don't get me wrong, the whole team would have taken a massive confidence boost from last night. And the way you won the game as well, at home, unbelievable. If you can go and follow that up with a win against Norwich, which you will be favourites to do, my word, you really will be in pole position to stay up, especially with Everton's fixtures. I think you'll get the victory. I think it'll be a doghouse performance. I think you're going to stink the place out, but I think you'll get the win. I think you'll keep a clean sheet, and I'm going to say 1-0 to Burnley. Next up is Brentford versus West Ham. West Ham loosely fighting for 4th, you'd say. I think they're 4 or 5 points off Arsenal, but you've got Tottenham with game in hand. I think you've got Arsenal with a game in hand, or maybe 2 games in hand. And of course, United are still there and thereabouts. I don't see you getting 4th, but Can you win the Europa League and get into the Champions League? It's an absolute possibility that you can. I think you're still fighting to actually finish in the European places as well, because we've got Wolves on 49 points, United on 51, and West Ham on 51. So it's anybody's for the taking. And there's no guarantee you can win the Europa League, of course not. So I think you will still be fighting very, very hard for your league position. With Brentford, what can you say? You roll up against Chelsea and put 4 past them. I mean, you really have secured Premier League football, in my opinion, for next season. You're on 33 points. You're going to win at least one more game this season. So Brentford, enjoy it. You are going to be Premier League for another season, and congratulations to you for that. I think there'll be an upset in this game. I really, really do. I think we might see a Brentford win. Maybe I'm hoping so, being a Wolves fan, but I think we might see a Brentford win. And I'm going to say 2-1 to Brentford. And we finish up with the game of the weekend, probably the game of the season so far, you could argue, Manchester City versus Liverpool. This game needs no second introduction. Manchester City, 3 wins out of 5, a draw in there as well, so only 10 points. Liverpool, 5 out of 5. Liverpool going to the Etihad, where they don't have a good record historically. Oh my God, will there be a football fan alive that won't be watching this game? I highly doubt it. How do you predict this game? What can you say? Will it be cagey? Will it be 1-0 either side? Will either side not want to take too many risks? It's technically... It is technically in both teams' hands, the title, because if Liverpool win on Sunday and then win every other game, they win the league. If Manchester City draw or win and then go on to win every game, they win the league. So it is technically in both teams' hands. A point keeps Manchester City above Liverpool because they are 1 point ahead now. They're on 73, Liverpool on 72. Liverpool have to go for the win. I do think that if this finishes a draw, I wouldn't say it's the end of the title, because if there's any team out the two that I think will drop points along the way for the rest of the season, I think it will be Man City, because we've seen it over the last month or two. They are dropping points here and there. Liverpool, they're not playing unbelievable football, but they are getting the results. And I think Man City will be focusing on that Champions League a little bit more. Winning another Premier League, that's all well and good. They really, really do want that Champions League. And I think if you offered City the Champions League and Liverpool the Prem, I think they shake hands, bid each other a good day, and I think they take it. Oh man, I don't know what to. It's just a coin flip. It really is. Based on form and just because of both teams have got unbelievable squads, I think I might just give it Liverpool. I think there's something about them. I think they're going to go for it because they're chasing. I think they're going to go gun-ho. And I think I might just give it to Liverpool 2-1. I really think I might. 2-1 to Liverpool. Guys, I do apologise that this is another long video. These videos used to be 7 or 8 minutes. They're now 13, 14 minutes. I do apologise. If you've made it this far, thank you so much. Please do me a favour. Hit that like button if you are still watching. And please subscribe if you are new here. Stay safe, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care.